Rob Pelinka will keep his job with the Lakers. Joe Hortiz was asked who's going to play center for the Chargers, and he's like, oh. And a Cubs player had all offseason to stew over the Dodgers, not their offseason, but who's rooting for them in the stands. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is February 25th, 2026. Welcome back to the home office. By the time you see this clip, I'm going to be on a plane heading east for work, which sucks. But what the hell? We're going to start our day off right by talking about the majesty that is LA sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, we have an expanded look at the scoreboard today because of what happened at Poly Pavilion last night. Orlando 110, Lakers 109. Luka Doncic scored 22. But at the Pavilion, UCLA 81, USC 62. As we discussed yesterday in this crosstown rivalry, this had elimination game written all over it. And UCLA, I thought, was the favorite because they had multiple paths to victory. Donovan Dent was that path. He answered the call with 30 points. There's a really good chance that this win seals a tournament bid for the Bruins. Despite their flaws, despite the coach not being composed, shall we say. But I got to be frank with you. You should expect UCLA to make the NCAA tournament. So to me, the bigger story is actually USC. Why? Because they paid top dollar to lure coach Eric Musselman to right the ship after Andy Enfield rug pulled the program, hightailed it to SMU. And what did the Trojans have to show for it? They were very likely eliminated from a tournament bid last night. They're also unlikely to reach 20 wins now. And oh, by the way, they're on a 4-game losing streak. Enfield's SMU team, by the way, is likely to make the tournament. So again, I ask you, what does USC have? We know Mick Cronin has his flaws. But as it currently stands, UCLA is likely going to the tourney, likely going to March Madness, and USC is where? Chad Baker-Mazara led the Trojans with 25 points. LAFC shut out Real España 1-0 in CONCACAF Champions Cup. The Black and Gold advance. They will face Costa Rican side LD Alajuelense in the round of 16, which will be held next month. Meanwhile, today, it's finally NHL season again. Las Vegas is at the Kings at 7. Winger Artemi Panarin should make his Kings debut tonight. And Sporting San Miguelito is at the Galaxy at 8:30. Also the first round of CONCACAF Champions Cup. The aggregate score in that 2-game series is 1-1. The winner tonight will face Mount Pleasant of Jamaica in the second round next month. So, with all that out of the way, let's get to the news. Rob Pelinka has repeated enough buzzwords from the Dodger front office that he eventually swayed the new owners. He said things like optionality so often that it must have hit a nerve because he gets to keep his job running Lakers on-court operations, according to The Athletic. It was kind of like if you've ever interviewed for a job and the HR guy asks, we think you're a good candidate, but what would you say is your biggest weakness? And you look at the HR guy and you say, I just care too much. That was Pelinka's response pretty much to everything. Meanwhile, ESPN also reported Magic Johnson, Lakers legend, one-time Lakers coach, former Lakers part owner and current Dodgers part owner, will have input on Laker decisions, although not a job with the title. Lon Rosen, who coincidentally is Johnson's former agent and current Lakers president of business operations, told the LA Times about Johnson, quote, "He's not going to be, hey, Rob, go sign this player, do that," unquote. Which I'm going to be honest with you, I don't believe for one moment. By the way, ESPN also reported Dodger president Andrew Friedman and Dodger special advisor Farhan Zaidi will drop their 2 cents in as well. Now look, the Dodgers clearly deserve the benefit of the doubt. If you want your team run the right way, the Dodgers are the North Star. You sure as hell don't look to Artie Moreno, right? But here's my problem with this. Jeannie Buss wanted anything Pelinka wanted. When Jeannie Buss ran things, Buss would hit the brakes and run everything past Phil Jackson, Kurt Rambis, and Johnson. Just totally gumming up the works every step of the way. And people tore her apart over that, which I understand. Hell, Magic resigned from the Lakers in 2019 because the infighting got so weird, he accused Pelinka of talking trash about him behind his back. So now, though, it's not Phil Jackson, Kurt Rambis, and Magic Johnson. It's 2 baseball guys and Magic Johnson. Are we sure that that's any better? I get the Dodgers should be given the benefit of the doubt. But is this any better? You'd have to tell me. Meanwhile, in today's edition of Keeping It Real, former Clipper, former Laker, and current Lakers troll Patrick Beverley will no longer face felony assault charges in Texas after it was alleged that he grabbed his teenage sister by the neck and punched her in the face. The case was thrown out because a grand jury found insufficient evidence. So I know you're wondering, did he do it? And there are 2 reasons that I will not even hazard a guess. 1, insufficient evidence, and I don't want to get sued. 2, Patrick Beverley real. You know how you sometimes see benches clear in the NBA, everybody fronts, but there's never any punches thrown? Those incidents never involve Patrick Beverley. Why? Patrick Beverley real. You can take that however you want. Patrick Beverley real. So I ain't saying a damn thing. Plenty of Lakers stuff to discuss. Feel free to let me know what you think. Chargers general manager Joe Hortiz was asked if the Bolts will fill the starting center spot via free agency. You know, what with Brad Bozeman retiring and all. Said Hortiz, quote, "We will try." This isn't exactly a try. This is absolutely a do. Where is Yoda when you need him most? Right? I don't know if this makes Hortiz a Jedi or a Sith. I don't know. But I will say this. One of the reasons that I'm so focused on the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft is you are super unlikely to land a starter after round 3. And I can only tell you of one center who is consistently listed on people's big boards, on the top 100 prospect lists. And that's Jake Slaughter of Florida, who projects as a 3rd rounder. And by the way, if you're a 3rd rounder, that doesn't mean you're going to get a starting gig. The Bolts cannot afford to screw around here. In the words of Yoda, try no. Do or do not. There is no try. Hortiz was also non-committal about the future of right guard Mekhi Becton next season. And I'm sure the prospects of replacing the middle 3 on the Bolts offensive line will give Justin Herbert a really warm fuzzy. I have a question for you if you're a Chargers fan, by the way. Different position group than offensive line. Quentin Johnston's rookie season with the Chargers back in the day went like this. He would line up on the outside. He would see if he had man or zone coverage. The ball would get snapped, and he'd step on a rake. Nothing but rake stepping all rookie season long. He was like Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons. One rake after another. Now, since then, Johnston's kind of improved. He either scores touchdowns or drops passes. 8 touchdowns in each of the last 2 seasons, 10 drops in each of the last 2 seasons. And I bring that up because there's a question. Would you pick up the 5th-year option on his rookie contract? If the Bolts do that, by the way, it will be fully guaranteed. And it is projected to be as much as $18 million. You let me know what you think, of course, in the comments thread. Here's a story I really didn't want to talk about that much, but it keeps getting played up on the social medias. Yes, I heard about the Cubs' Pete Crow Armstrong, a SoCal native, no less, ripping Dodger fans, saying that they only go to Dodger Stadium for attention seeking and social media likes than to actually watch baseball. And the reason I don't really want to spend that much time on it is because all I care about are titles. And the last time I checked, little bro, you ain't got no ring. What I will tell you is this. Done a lot of traveling. I have been to every current major league park, including Wrigley Field. And I have to tell you, Crow Armstrong, may I call you Crow? I saw thousands of Cub fans do what you say Dodger fans do. Quote, take pictures and whatever. Saw that all over Wrigley Field because that stadium is historic. And of course, you want the social media likes there too. There are so look, Wrigleyville is Selfieville, Crow. So, shh. Now, don't get me wrong. There are baseball fans in Chicago who want to watch baseball. They're called White Sox fans. So, shh. I mean, I hear this all the time. Who has the better fans? Every time I would go to Slime Diego, oh, we're so much better. No, you're not. No, you're not. Get a grip on yourself. You are not. Look at all the brawls Slime Diego soccer fans started last year. And by the way, Dodger fans have a group, Pantone 294. They crisscross the country. They take over opposing stadiums. They are known from sea to shining sea. And they do not get on a plane and root for the Dodgers in Fenway Park with a selfie stick. Shh. We always try to nip rumors in the bud on this channel. Bloggers, social media trolls, they're always taking articles out of context. Tim Kawakami, formerly of the San Jose Mercury News, was incorrectly sourced yesterday as saying that if there's any penalty in the Kawhi Leonard non-work pay scandal, it would be to Leonard's contract, not to the Clippers directly. And of course, it got blown out of proportion. So Kawakami later went to Twitter and wrote, quote, I literally said on the podcast not to aggregate this because I was just speculating. And there you go, aggregating it incorrectly. Wonderful. Clipper Nation is enraged. If you're furious at me, this was aggregated incorrectly, unquote. Now, I'm cool with him coming back to correct the record. The only problem I have is, you really didn't think that was going to happen? You didn't? How did you not know this was going to be taken out of context? Now, Kawakami said on the podcast, quote, The rumors I've heard is that it's going to be less about the Clippers and more about what's going to happen to Kawhi's contract, unquote. My dude, I'm about to tell you something you already know. If you don't have sources that you trust, if you don't feel like what you say is going to be well established, don't say it. Or totally go overboard and say this is wild arse speculation. This is not a surprise. I don't know why you're shocked. Speaking of things that you shouldn't take overboard, the Kings find themselves in a really odd position of being linked in dozens of NHL trade rumors. And that's what's really odd, because that's normally the domain of either the Dodgers or the Lakers. I'm not going to throw out all the names because, one, they're unsourced, and two, I'm going to wind up mispronouncing all of those Slavic names anyway. So take what I'm about to say with a pound of salt. They have reportedly called Montreal about right winger Patrick Lane. Calling a team about a player does not mean there's anything to it. The Kings get calls every day about players. They make calls every day about players. Don't read anything into it. The trade deadline is March 6th. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Are you cool with Rob Pelinka still putting out the product on the Lakers roster? For that matter, what are you thinking about with the Chargers and their interior offensive line? If you enjoyed the update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.